this is a kidnapping with assistance from a magistrate that's involved. Magistrate Jeanette Bell from Lake County Juvenile Court, Judge Karen Lawson from Lake County Juvenile Court, Attorney Paul Malcheski, my ex's attorney, who is now Judge Paul Malcheski. And now we finally asked for a guardian ad litem to come in, and they assigned guardian ad litem Rebecca Castell, who saw all of this as well, and says, oh, there's no issue there. She could have fallen. Explain to me how a child falls and has bruises on both arms completely surrounding her arms. How does a child fall and that happen? You can tell that my ex snatched her up in a fit of anger, and this is what this child is suffering. Now, after a couple years now, she's afraid to say anything if anything's happening. She is afraid to say anything because she knows what's going to happen if she says anything.
Well, I'm looking at these. I mean, you can see the one with the hat here where the bruises on. I mean, it's just, it's, you could see, I mean, her face is swollen considerably there on that, on the one where she's got that hat and she's been.
His daughter, Liliana, 3 hours per week. They have cut it down to 3 hours per week. The reason was the order says because him getting her overnight would interfere with her schooling. I don't understand why, because the days that he was getting her overnight were his days off. He's never been an issue with him. I don't see why there would be an issue with him picking her up and dropping her off at school. And at that time, she was only going to school from 12 to 3.
When are you going to get her back? When are you going to get her back?
And let me just tell you that on that day when they made that order to change it to only 3 hours a day, evidence that was what evidence was provided there. I think it was my social media and my social media and Twitter account posts exposing what these people are doing. That's what was shown as evidence to the judge. Look what the grandma's doing. Look what Luciana's posting on Twitter and on social media. See? Look what she's posting here. Yep. Needs to be cut down to 3 hours a week.
The posts, because the posts were unfavorable to the courts, probably.
Exactly. And that
Shocker.
day when I walked up, my son was there. I walked in the hallway of the court, and Rebecca Castell, the guardian ad litem, was standing right over my son. He was sitting down. She's standing right over him, which I thought was odd because she was very close, like over him. So I walked up and I sat next to my son. I'm like, hey, Johnny, what's going on? He turned and looked at me and said, she's saying that you need to take down your posts on social media because it's going to affect me keeping Lily. I looked at her, I said, what? I said, so you don't want me exposing what you guys are doing? That you guys are not protecting this child who was being abused, that you gave her away illegally? Yeah, of course. I know you don't want that exposed. And she says to me, Liliana has friends and they might see that on Facebook and stuff. I said, she's in kindergarten. She doesn't have friends who are going to go online. And she's like, well, down the road. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Did you get that in writing by any chance? Did you get that in writing that they had said that if you don't take down Facebook posts, it's going to affect the? So that would be just delightful. Next time someone that they say that to someone, because I'm sure they will again. It'd be nice to be able to get that in writing. If you look at the court documents, you see how on that day when they cut him down to only 3 hours a week, what was submitted as evidence was my Facebook posts and my Twitter posts. How is that evidence to take his overnight visits away, which he should have full custody of his daughter anyway? This is insanity. The entire thing is insanity. This is what's going on in Ohio. This is what's happening with these courts. These judges just rule however they want. They do whatever they want, and you're just stuck with it. I mean, there's a child being hurt and raised with an abuser, and
Now she has a little sister, and her name is True Grace, and she just turned 2 years old. And now on the 3 hours that we do get to see her, we get to spend 3 hours a week with her. Now we have to watch as Liliana is panicking as we're ripping her apart from her 2-year-old sister, who she loves, and she's just crying, you know, why can't I stay with my sister? I want to stay with my dad, and I love you, True, and just crying. And this is unbearable at this point to watch this child, what she's going through.